Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Raw is Jericho! Hell yeah! Get some
You will rest in peace.
The whole world will acknowledge me.
Hey, everybody. It's the Rasslin Addicts. I'm Matt. This is Sal, and we are late, and it's all my fault. I apologize. Your boy, as you can see, is in a suit and tie. He had a job interview. And hopefully, I join the authority and I get it. But I am so sorry that we are late. This will never, ever happen again.
How about a new intro, though? My goodness. Unbelievable.
I'm excited. And, I just want to give a personal and heartfelt, sincere apology to everyone part of Fantasy Sports Corp. I did not mean to be late on our very first show. And to all the fans, to all the millions
and millions,
there you go, of our addicts. I'm sorry that we're late. The show will be worth it because we are going to discuss the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk, coming back to AEW, possibly, maybe. It's all rumors. And we're going to talk about the WWE draft that is coming not this Friday, but next Friday, right?
Yes, I believe so.
There we go. So I'm long-winded. I left my water upstairs. So Sal. Oh, also, totally forgot. We're also going to have a special edition of Rasslin Trivia WWE Draft Edition. So if you want to join, now's the time.
I must admit, it was tough trying to find hard questions because there's so many draft questions. I feel like we're going to have some repeats here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's funny you say that because as I was looking for them earlier in the week, and I'm like, some of these, it's not like it's like a baseball draft or like the football draft, like who was like the number 3 pick, and it's gonna be a little difficult, but that's later on. That's later on. Right now, what we want to talk about is probably one of the biggest news stories going on right now is that CM Punk possibly returning to AEW for the Summer of Punk Part 2.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Sal?
I think the AEW needs him back. AEW recently, it's just so stagnant to me. I don't know if it's just me. I know a lot of other people love it. And I at one point I loved it too, but it's just becoming so stagnant and it's just staying on one level for me. And I think CM Punk coming back would be huge for them. They have that Wimbledon show that they're doing in August. They gotta sell a lot of tickets for that. So CM Punk would drive that up, of course. But my thing is the big money match to have with him would be him and FTR versus the Elite. And that's the big money match that you can put as the main event on that Wimbledon show. And you could sell some tickets because they got a lot of tickets to sell. I don't know, you hear rumors about how much they might sell. So I don't know, maybe 50,000 around that range. If you want to get to that range, 50, 60,000, you're gonna need CM Punk there. So I'm all for him coming back. If he becomes a locker room problem again, then I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen after that. if that should occur.
I think AEW needs CM Punk because it hasn't been the same since he's been gone.
No.
They're also no, there's no real big news story regarding AEW. It was CM Punk's return. It was CM Punk as champion, and then it was CM Punk at the media scrum. So, now there's nothing. Now the most I feel like people are talking about when it comes to AEW, and it is either CM Punk or the possibility. Well, it's CM Punk. It's the Wimbledon show where 50,000 tickets. A lot of people don't think they're going to sell out, but with Punk they will. Then also I feel like there's a little rumors now due to Twitter that maybe Drew McIntyre may be AEW bound. I don't believe it, but
yeah, I don't know if I'm believing that one.
I feel like Drew would help with selling tickets too.
Oh, I think he would help immensely, but the thing I heard, he's still got 9 months left. So
9 months? Oh.
Yeah, that's what I saw. He's still got 9 months left, and he's, he could be using this as maybe a contract negotiation ploy, get WWE to, up his pay or something like that, or, give him more years. I don't see Drew McIntyre going anywhere. He's definitely not going to be at the Wimbledon show because he does have 9 months left. So, and I see a lot of people saying on Twitter too, oh, Becky Lynch, her contract's coming up next summer. I'm like, guys, number one, WWE would be crazy to let Becky Lynch go. And I don't think it's going to happen either way. I still sign her back. But if they get Punk back in the doors, and if they could have that match with the Elite, I think they could do well with the ticket sales in Wimbledon. And you know what? Ratings would go up. Interest would go up. Intrigue would go up. Right now, AEW doesn't have any of that. I mean, the most intriguing thing going on in AEW right now is anything that MJF is doing. And even that's getting a little, dull. Yeah. And I'm not saying MJF is dull, but what they have him doing is dull. So they need to shake it up a little bit.
I agree, and I feel like it's needed. You need CM Punk back. Whether you want to say he's a cancer, he's a headache, he's toxic. It's funny because Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he likes Punk. Bret Hart likes Punk. I think who else said Punk is was it Ricky Starks that said it?
Yeah, a lot of the guys in the back liked Punk. Ricky Starks, Darby Allin was one of them. Obviously, FTR loves him. I think Hobbs likes him. So he's got some friends back there that like him and enjoyed him being around. But then you got the Elite side of things that don't like him and don't want to be around him and might not want to work with him. And then you go and say, okay, well, if Punk comes back, but the Elite don't want to work with him, then who does Punk work with? And the one person I thought of is Chris Jericho, especially with the problems they had. And Chris Jericho was the one that called him a cancer after the press scrum fight and all that. So it wouldn't be as big of a money match as you could have with the Elite, but it could still move some tickets, and they're gonna need some big names to move tickets in Wimbledon. I mean, Wimbledon is I think 85,000, 90,000. You see arena. Obviously they're not gonna sell all of those tickets.
Yeah,
but you get Punk on the show. I think you can do around 60,000.
I agree. I agree. It's one guy. That's all it takes is one guy, especially for they haven't gone there before. 50,000 tickets is a lot. This
is going to be their biggest show ever. I mean,
it's their WrestleMania in a way.
It's going to be their WrestleMania. That week is going to be huge for them. I mean, the biggest show they've done so far was in New York in the tennis arena. I forgot the name of it, but they did
It's
like
got
20,000.
yeah,
They did
Wimbledon.
20,000 there.
Yeah.
So this is their biggest show ever, and they gotta deliver. Otherwise, it's not gonna look good if they don't deliver. So
No, and as a fan of wrestling, I want them to deliver.
yeah, me too.
I want them to like. I'm seeing on Twitter like, ho, they're not selling any. It's like, why do you want that? Why do you?
I don't know. I don't know why people want like companies to fail.
Yeah.
I want AEW is the reason why, WWE kind of upped their game a bit.
Yeah.
It kind of is, and I don't see how that's a bad thing. I mean, do I love everything that AEW has on their television show? No, I don't. There's a lot of things that I'm like, oh God, like they could have did this a lot better. And Tony Khan's not the greatest booker in the world, but I mean, really, who was anybody perfect? I mean, even Vince in his prime wasn't perfect. Yeah. It's just that Tony Khan has a lot more problems when it comes to booking.
I feel like that's that way because he's like, I want to be friends with everybody. Like I love wrestling. These are my friends. They're your employees, and you need to make the right decisions and the hard decisions in order to make the company successful. You're not going to make everybody happy. You're going to upset some people. Yeah. But,
hey, Vince, look how many people Vince upsetted over the years. I mean, the list could go on and on.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, Ultimate Warrior, Bruno back in the day, Hogan, and
Brett.
Brett. Yeah, Sean at one point. I mean, everybody at one point. Yeah. So, but you just got to be. You gotta
be a boss,
right? And you got to be a boss. And I think Tony Khan right now isn't. He's not having the best of times there. I don't think he's got some problems.
Yeah, he definitely does, and hopefully those problems get resolved and they don't become bigger problems if Punk comes back. Because what I'm hearing is that it's he's gonna be on the Saturday show. Like that Saturday show is gonna be unless I read wrong or
I
got tricked by the dirt sheets.
I saw that too. I don't know. I heard something like a brand. Their AEW is going to do their own brand split.
Yeah,
and I don't know about that because then you're just going to have everybody on the Elite side on one show, and then everybody on Punk side on another show. So it's just like I don't know. I don't really know. They have the talent to do it, but
I'd rather it be AEW and then Ring of Honor. But to do a brand split, listen, for as big as a wrestling fan that Tony Khan is, just look at previous brand splits that WWE has done, and they have not worked out well.
No, and
you have to be strict with them. It can't. The moment someone from like, let's say, for example, it's going to be Dynamite and Rampage. The moment someone who's supposed to be on Dynamite shows up on Rampage, I no longer care about.
Yeah, I don't watch Rampage. I don't even bother to watch Rampage. I don't think anyone does. It's on. Nobody does. There's 300,000 people that watch it. It's just like I feel bad for them because why are you watching it? But and if they have a Saturday show. I'm not gonna watch that either. It's Saturday night. I'm going out. I'm gonna go. I'm not sitting home watching AEW on a Saturday night. So I don't know how the rating wise that will do. I don't. That might not even be. I don't know. Saturday. There's so much competition.
There is
on television.
Especially now you have sports, UFC, baseball. You have the basketball playoffs. You have hockey playoffs, and then before you know it,
college.
It's Saturday. Is such a hard day. They can barely get people to watch on Friday.
I mean,
You
it's a
know,
terrible time slot, but
terrible time.
nobody's gonna watch on a.
Yeah, but they can't go against SmackDown. And if you
No.
go
Ooh,
before
God.
SmackDown, that's too early. You
Yeah.
know, I feel anyway. Like prime time, a great time slot for wrestling is 8, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
That's it. 10 o'clock. Now you're hitting my bedtime. Now
Yeah.
it's like, especially to pick up a show at 10. Like if I'm watching Raw from 9 and it hits into the 10 o'clock hour,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, whatever. I've been watching it already. But to sit
Yeah.
down and like turn the TV on for something like the start of a program, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah. I don't know how this. I don't even know if it's gonna happen this Saturday show. I know I saw some rumors, like you said, a few dirt sheets put it out there, but I don't know. Punk being on it will definitely draw some viewers early,
Yeah,
but
for
after
sure.
a while, it's just gonna be like, all right, well, it's a Saturday night. I'm getting out of here, getting out of the house.
And to be honest, like how long until Punk is like, why am I working Saturday nights? Like, what is
Well,
this about?
I'm sure him and Tony are talking about all these things, and I heard that him and Jericho are gonna have a little meeting, so I don't know how that's gonna work out, but who knows? Who knows if Punk comes back or not? To me, I say he will, but I don't know who he's gonna work with. I don't know if the Elite will work with him. I don't think so after what he did at the Scrum. I mean, it was unprofessional, and the Elite didn't like it, and I still think there's some heat there. So,
Well, you know what I think needs to happen, and this goes into the job interview I was just on, which is why I was late. Which once again, sorry guys, it will never ever happen again. But what you have to do is, as a boss, Tony Khan, who cares what these people think? You're paying money to CM Punk. CM Punk is arguably the biggest draw in your company, and he's not even there anymore. If
I
you
don't
want to
even
bring
think.
him back for the betterment of your AEW, then that's what you do, Tony Khan. You don't care what Kenny Omega has to say. You don't care what the Young Bucks have to say. You don't care what Jericho has to say. It's his company. That's it.
That's the problem with Tony. That's where I go back to what I said before. That's the problem with Tony Khan. He just wants to be friendly with everyone. He doesn't want to step on any toes. And, I mean, the Elite, they are the EVPs, so they have some say. And I know Jericho has a lot of pull in that company. And I think he has, I forgot what title they gave him, but he has some backstage job now too. So
yeah, but who signs the paychecks? Who signs the paychecks?
Well, that's where it all falls down to. I mean, Tony Khan signed the paychecks, but I think the money's coming from somebody else. But
listen, Daddy may be paying for it, but at the end of the day, the Khans are in charge. Take control of your company. That's it.
Yeah, I've been waiting, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I think Tony, this is just a fun thing that he wanted to do, and here we are. You have a pissed off CM Punk, a pissed off group of Elite, and Chris Jericho's running around, having meetings with CM Punk. Now I don't know what's going on, but I think all in all, Punk will be back. I don't know when, probably sometime in the summer. He'll be on the Wimbledon show, whether he's facing the Elite or with FTR, or he's going to go face Jericho or MJF again. He'll be doing something.
What would you want him to do? Say you're Tony. No, I don't want to say you're Tony Khan. Say you're booking the show. What would you do with Punk?
You got to team him up with FTR and go against the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. I mean, that's sitting right in front of his face. It's right there. You don't even really need to make a storyline. The story's there. It's right in front of him. So
I agree.
Not a lot you need to do with that. Everybody knows the issues. Everybody knows the problems these guys have with each other. So put them out in the ring, have them do some promoing back and forth, and That's it. Go and have this match at Wimbledon. Sell some tickets. Bring in some money. There you go.
Did they lost the trio titles, right? Or are they still the trios champion?
Oh no, they lost. I think House
They
of
lost
Black
that, right?
has them now. Yeah, they lost.
Would you throw the titles back on them, on the Elite, for this match?
I don't think they need them. I
Right?
don't think they need them at all. I think the story itself will sell. I don't think it needs to be a trios tag title match or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
the FTR right now, the tag team champions. I don't know what's going to happen from now to August, but I mean, maybe if Tony wants to go another route, have CM Punk face Kenny Omega and have FTR go against the Young Bucks for the tag titles in separate matches. You can do that too. But I think the big money matches having all of them in one match. Yeah.
I agree. Hit up that 6-man tag.
Yeah.
Punk and FTR versus the Elite. I think it's going to be really good. Really good.
Well, I hope they could figure it out, and I know the Elite doesn't want to work with them, and I'm not too sure if Punk wants to work with them either. I'm seeing all different things, but I hope they could figure it out because I want to see that match.
But you know what? Like, I don't want to work with certain people, but you know what I do? I go to work and I get my paycheck.
Yeah.
That's it. There's so much money on the table that I feel like if this doesn't happen in August, then you're missing the boat completely on it.
Oh, then it's the boat's gone. I mean, they could do it. They could do it for another pay-per-view, but you want to sell as many tickets as you possibly can for the Wimbledon show because you
exactly
make a statement. Make a statement. Don't just sell 25,000-30,000 tickets. You could do more than that.
Yeah,
sell more than that.
Sell out. I feel like anything under 40,000 is going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, it probably will be. I mean, the highest attendance they had, I think, was a little over 20,000. So, I mean, they could do even if they do in the 30s, I guess it would be somewhat of an accomplishment. But you want to go crazy and get 50,
you want to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, you want to knock it out of the park. It's your first big, huge show in a stadium like this. Like,
yeah,
give us all you got.
I agree.
And and I see some people saying on Twitter, "Oh, bring in Goldberg and do CM Punk versus Goldberg," and I'm like, why?
There's no way any of them would agree to that because both would want to win the match.
Yeah, who's going over? I mean, CM Punk doesn't want to work a match with Goldberg. I mean, maybe he does. I don't know, but I can't see him wanting to work a match with Goldberg. That's not his style. It's going to be a 2-3 minute match, and that's going to be it.
It's going to be completely underwhelming and not worth it.
No, if Tony Khan wants to have Goldberg on the card, that would be a big deal. Maybe put him against Wardlow. That would be huge. That would sell some tickets if they had Goldberg and Wardlow together, but not against Punk. I see people saying that on Twitter. I'm like, no, like, why? I don't understand that.
No, not at all. And our friends over at Super Friends Sports Network throwing some shade at me. Is the guy on the left being held captive? You know what? You know what I sense? I sense some jealousy with my massive Rasslin figure collection in the background. Thousands upon thousands of action figures, which we'll be talking about in future shows. But I didn't only get the smoke, but you got the smoke too, Sal. And boom, guy on the right looks like he's at Grandpa's house. Woof. Woof. And then my buddy, my boy, maybe one of the worst commissioners in fantasy football history because he never answers a text message. My boy Harrison hitting me up going, mood. And he wants to know how we're doing. Thanks for joining, Harrison. I appreciate it. Stay tuned because later on the show, guys, we're going to do some wrestling trivia. And we would like our live audience to be a part of it. But before we get to the draft trivia, we have to talk about what's going to be happening very shortly. 1 week 7 days from Friday is the WWE draft, and oh boy, is this 100% needed because, with Triple H taking over, we haven't really seen a lot of the repetitive matches that we've seen in the past. Up until this past Monday, we saw Miz and Rollins, which is
fantastic match.
Yeah, so that's okay. We had Theory and Lashley, which you had to. I figured something was gonna go down because you're not gonna have your champ who beat John Cena, the GOAT, at WrestleMania, lose in a non-title match to Bobby Lashley and Monday Night Raw.
I called the Bronson Reed run in, and once I said, how are they going to get out of this? I was like, you can't beat either of them. And I said, okay, Bronson Reed's coming in at some point. He did.
So let's just dive right into it. I'm really annoyed because I left my interview notes with my draft notes upstairs.
Oh.
I know. She's like, oh, so where do you see yourself? I almost started saying, oh, Judgment Day on SmackDown, Theory. I'm like, oh, wait, this isn't the podcast, but let's dive right into it. I don't know the parameters of the draft, how they're going to do it, 2 picks.
I have
or
no
whatever.
idea.
Probably going to be supplemental to where it's all random, but the top 3 people for who do you want to see? I'll start with that way. I don't want to go like, who do you want to see go where? Give me your top 5.
Top 5 to be drafted.
Yeah, to whatever show. Like for me, like mine would be Judgment Day moving from Raw to SmackDown.
Okay.
So
I
like that.
I would want to see Becky Lynch drafted to SmackDown. I feel you got to get away from Bianca. They've already had multiple matches together. Have her go to SmackDown. They're probably gonna have Rhea go to SmackDown too, since she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. So
yeah,
have a little feud with Rhea down the. I mean, right now Becky's busy with Trish, but
I don't know. Becky doesn't look busy at all. Becky looks like she's taking the Drew McIntyre route.
I think that's all story. That's all storyline. That's got to be all storyline there with especially having Trish come out and do that promo and stuff. That's got to be.
First of all,
storyline.
Trish's promo
she looks fantastic.
I heard nothing of what she said. I didn't hear a single word that she said. All I did was stare at her, googly-eyed.
Yeah, I didn't see the color of anything.
Even my wife was like, "Is that Trish?" And I'm like,
"That's Trish."
I'm like, stare. I'm like, did you say something? But
Trish looked. She looks better now than she did when she was 27. Honestly,
phenomenal. I was definitely stratified on Monday.
Oh yeah,
stratisfaction guaranteed.
All the time. Becky goes to SmackDown. I would put Gunther on Raw. I would put Gunther on Raw and have Theory go to SmackDown. There's just not much left for Theory to do on Raw. What's left for him to do? You put him on SmackDown, get him on a fresh brand. If you could put him on Fox, you'll have more people see him. You'll have more viewers seeing Theory and seeing what he's all about. So those are some of the switches that I would make. Cody, I would keep on Raw.
Cody's got to be Raw. Yeah,
Cody's got to be Raw. He brings in all the viewers for Raw. Trying to think of anybody else. Bloodline stays on SmackDown.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Fox is probably. I think Fox has probably told whoever's in charge of all this. Yeah, we want to keep the Bloodline. Thank you very much, because they bring in a ton of viewers. So
yeah,
I would keep them on Fox.
Okay, so one more.
Well, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are probably going to be obviously on the same brand. They're not going to split up the tag team champions. I want to say keep them on SmackDown just to keep them with the bloodline. But
Okay.
maybe shake it up and put them on
Well,
Raw.
isn't Sammy on SmackDown and KO Raw?
To be completely honest, I don't even know anymore. Yeah, I don't know.
This is why they need the draft.
And actually, now that I think about it, they're probably going to be on both brands, no matter what, because they're
I could see that.
they're the undisputed tag team champions. So they're champions on both brands. So I
could
wonder
see
how
that.
I wonder how that's going to work. I wonder how they're going to do that, because are they going to have them be on both brands? Are they going to have Roman be on both brands because he's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion? So is he going to be on both brands? Those three might be seen on both.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I feel like they should go back to like the first draft to where, you know, the main champion was on both shows, one champion. But the problem with that is that, you know, Roman's a part-time guy. So you're not really going to get the vibe that the champion's on both shows because he barely goes to SmackDown. So what are you going to have him like, you know, one week on Raw, 2 weeks later he's on SmackDown? I have some thoughts. Roll through your 5 again that you want to see move, and go ahead. I think you said what is
Becky to Raw, Becky to SmackDown, Gunther to Raw, Bloodline staying on SmackDown. What else did I say? Cody stays on Raw.
Yeah.
And then I said Sammy and KO on Raw, but I think they're probably going to be on both brands.
Yeah, I like that.
So,
yes. Let me take a quick break real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to take a quick break, and then we'll jump into what you were about to say, and then I'll go into my guys. And while we're doing this break, let's think about some NXT talent that we want to see hit the main roster. Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Underdog Fantasy is here to save your post-fantasy football season blues. The easiest place to play and win with the Underdog Fantasy app. Get up to 20 times your money in a single night with our Pick'em contests. Grab some insurance when setting your picks and win even when one pick fails. Go online now and use the promo code SCOREBOARD to double your deposit up to $100. Sit gingerbread, good girl.
And we're back. Thanks for coming back, guys. Thanks for staying. All right, so Sal, I agree with you about the tag champs. I think get rid of the red and the blue separate belts. If you want to have one red, one blue, if you want to make 2 belts, if you want to make a new championship where it's half red, half blue, fine, great. But I feel like that the tag champs, because it's just they don't care about tag team wrestling, you know, and the only reason why the tag titles were held to such high prestige was because of the bloodline. You know, so I feel like after that bloodline story is done, the tag titles still need to stay important and relevant. And by the champs traveling to both shows, I think it does that.
Yeah, I think having KO and Sammy hold both belts, and I think it brings a lot of prestige back to those titles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Triple H splits them. Maybe he splits, like, you know, back in the day, I used to like when it was the World Tag Team Champions on Raw and then the WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. I don't know why we ever changed that, but
they don't care. I feel like they don't care about tag teams anymore. You maybe have like
that was more of a Vince thing, though. Vince didn't really care about tag teams. Triple H, I kind of see him caring a little bit more about tag teams. I mean, not fully, but I see him caring a little bit. Yeah, he's doing he's doing enough, but not totally enough. But the one thing I don't want to the 2 people I want to see split up, Rhea and Dom. You can't split if they split them up.
No.
Oh boy, Dom's stock might go down a little bit if they get split up.
So here's mine. Here are my 5 that I want. All of Judgment Day as a collective unit goes to SmackDown. Because I agree.
Yeah, I hope so.
You can't split them up. Too much work has gone into this group to split them up. And really, the only person they feuded with was Edge. And maybe AJ Styles a little bit.
Yeah, the OC a little bit, but that was about it.
The Rey Mysterio is more Dominic. It's more of a Dominic thing because he was feuding with Rey prior to joining Judgment Day, but Jordan Judgment Day put him over the top. And if they see, Dominic as a star, you gotta keep the band together. Move them all over to SmackDown. That's my first one. My second one, my second and third, like what you were saying, switch Theory and Gunther. Gunther needs to be on Raw. Theory could shine more on SmackDown, have new, fresh matches, and I'm all for that. Secondly, because it's a 3-hour show and you can easily hide people in a 3-hour show, Ronda Rousey goes to Raw where it's you could like throw her in a 10-15 minute match or a segment or whatever it may be, and it's not dominating the show like it would on SmackDown because she's just not there yet. She's not back there. And I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. Peak Ronda, WrestleMania 34. Hasn't been the same since. It's just
even really her as champion, gone downhill. It's gone downhill for her. I don't get excited seeing her. She has blended in with everybody else. That
mystique and aura is gone. She's not special. And the last one, I know he just started something with Lashley, so maybe you move them both. I put Lashley and Brunson Reed on SmackDown.
You know what? Lashley on SmackDown would do pretty good. I feel like he's been on Raw forever.
Yeah.
I think he's been on Raw ever since he came back years ago.
Yeah.
When was that? That was 2018?
That was when he was with Leo Rush.
Yeah,
that's how long ago that was.
That's a long time he's been on Raw. So you know what? That would be pretty good. Put him on SmackDown.
Because if you have Gunther and Lashley on the same show, that's all that everybody's going to want to see is that matchup. So I'm just going to mute real quick because I got to sneeze. Okay, it went away. Didn't happen. I know, it's the worst. I'm going to be feeling it later. I'm going to be reading my trivia question. Just go, shoot. So those are my 5. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm hoping that the Street Profits don't get split up by the draft.
I have a feeling they might. And you know what? I'm fine with it because Montez Ford is going to be and so is Angelo Dawkins, but Montez Ford is going to be a star. He's going to be
someone's
got
to turn there. Someone's got to turn. Like, I want to see them get split up, and like when the Miz and Morrison got split up way back when. They went to different shows. Miz hit that DDT, and then Miz went on to a Hall of Fame career after that.
Yeah.
Which everyone thought it was going to be Morrison. Everybody thought
I did too.
Miz was going to be the Jannetty. I loved the Miz since day one. So, I don't see Dawkins surpassing Ford.
No.
But I feel like it would be good just to split them up. But the problem you run into is, like you were saying, Becky moves to SmackDown. That means Rollins has to go too. You're not going to split up a husband and wife.
You know what? Maybe he should. Because he's another one. He's been on Raw for a while too. I can't even remember how long he's been there. So maybe both of them, send them both to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Why not?
Night Rollins and the Man. I could see that.
Not for nothing, but what do they have Seth doing right now? They a few weeks ago he just came out and sang in the ring when Vince was backstage.
Pissed. He was pissed, Rollins.
I don't blame him. They said go out and sing. Come on. And then this week he's in a match with The Miz. It was a fantastic match, but okay, where are we going from here with him?
Yeah.
So put him on SmackDown. Give him a fresh new start. Just
It.
like,
You know what? It makes sense to see the matches that don't make sense right now. Like, where is this going? Because you don't want to start anything until the draft.
no,
You
I
know,
get why
so
they're doing it.
Have
Yeah, I
fillers
get
and
why
stuff.
they're doing it. Yeah.
And then on Friday, do your draft bullshit and see what happens with that.
Yeah. I hope they go back to having matches. Yeah. Remember how they used to have the matches?
Yeah.
And then you go to the video screen and then all the things would blink and
And it's like,
everything.
boop,
Yeah.
and then it goes, and it shows like, pow, like Seth
That
Rollins
was the
has been
best.
drafted to SmackDown.
That was the best version of the draft when they started doing like,
Random.
you know, it just was, I don't know. I hope they don't have Adam Pearce come out and just announce it. Like, I don't know. That would be so lame.
But also what I want to see, and we've seen it so many times, I need separate authority figures for Raw and SmackDown. There needs to be,
you know,
like, what's the point then? You know, what's the point of having two different shows? Brand supremacy. But
I feel like
who
that
wins
died. I feel like that died once Bischoff and Teddy Long kind of like phased out.
Yeah.
Like Bischoff had Raw and Teddy Long had SmackDown, and then once they got phased out, it kind of just like the authority figure on separate brands kind of just got, I don't know, it just got old.
Yeah.
After that, like then they had John Laurinaitis and Vicky Guerrero was
People power.
Yeah.
People power.
Damn, that was a bad era.
And then after every time he was done talking to somebody, he just took out his cell phone and was texting someone. Like, made no sense.
Yeah, he was texting the paralegal.
Yeah. Oh. Zing. That was a good one.
Johnny Ace, huh?
NXT. Who from NXT gets the call? Who gets the call to the show? Who's going to make their SmackDown debut and their Raw debut?
I hope Braun Breaker. You know, they turned him heel, which is strange. I mean, I don't watch NXT, but on Twitter I scroll and I see, they turned him heel. He turned on Carmelo Hayes or whatever. Yeah, bring him. Maybe not SmackDown because
he's got to go to Raw.
I would put him on Raw.
Yeah,
bring Braun up. I would have said bring Carmelo Hayes up, but he's the NXT champion, so he's going to stay down there for a while now. So bring Braun up.
I was going with Mello or Hayes, Mello or Braun. Whoever wasn't the champ would get called up.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say Indy Hartwell too, but now she's the champion down there too. So maybe you bring up Roxanne Perez. She's pretty good. Ilya Dragunov.
Braun, put Braun on Raw. Bring up Roxanne for SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Cora Jade on Raw.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
And bring up Pretty Deadly.
Oh, yeah. I wish they would come up already. God.
And put them with MMM. Put them with the models. That's like, it's like, get rid of,
That's more of a comedy group, though.
It could be serious stuff. It's done the right way.
Yeah.
I feel.
True.
And
I mean,
if they're going to have, if you want to, have a serious tag team division, bring up tag teams, legit tag teams. I'm so tired of these makeshift bullshit. At least it worked with Otis and Chad. They're friends. It's the gimmicks were similar.
Yeah.
That worked. But when you just start like throwing people together, I don't like it. Almost forgot. Back to who I want to see shoot over from Raw to SmackDown. Honorable mentions to Monday Night Raw, L.A. Knight.
I mean, at this point, and I know what they're doing with him. I get it, but you got to change it up a little bit for him. Have him win some matches. Like I get where the story's going, and he's shooting these promos backstage, how he's frustrated and stuff. But he's got to win a match sooner or later, and the fans love him. He's over. Yeah, put him on Raw. Why not? Have him feud with. Actually, you could maybe keep him on SmackDown and have him feud with Austin Theory for the U.S. title. That could be good. And everybody loves LA Knight. They hate Theory.
They do hate Theory.
Have him feud with Austin Theory a bit for the U.S. title. Put the U.S. title on LA Knight.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
How many times did you lose to Xavier Woods?
I know. I love Woods. I love Woods, too, but it's like, come on.
My goodness. Too many times.
Well, the tie clip is off.
Uh-oh.
The tie is coming undone. The top button is unbuttoned. And you know what that means it's time for?
That can only mean one thing.
It's time, once again, for some Rasslin trivia. And while we don't have a commercial, we have me saying it. I'm the commercial. Rasslin trivia is brought to you by Jazz Sportsbook. Get those Jazz hands out, pick up your phone, and place some bets. Make sure you pick the winners because we're the winners here. But who's going to be the winner between Rasslin trivia? Find out right now. We don't have an intro for Rasslin trivia. I may need to talk to Coop and be like, hey man, we need like an intro for trivia, and he'll be like,
we need some.
He'll be like, oh, the guy who shows up late's demanding things. And I'll be like, oh, my bad. But I promise, for the third time, we will never, ever make you wait again. But now it's time for some Rasslin trivia because I have some sausage that's defrosting that my wife is staring at me to make. So, Sal, I will let you lead with the first question.
Oh, thank goodness! Because this question, I know you're gonna ask this question, so I'm gonna steal it. Okay. Maybe you aren't. I don't know. Who was the first wrestler to be drafted?
Ooh, that is not my question, but it is the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, The Rock.
Dwayne. Yep.
Got that eyebrow there. Oh, we need some sound effects too to go ding.
Yeah, we need a soundboard.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when you're a jabroni and you show up late and unprepared. But hey, you'll learn.
Got the first question right. That's all right.
I did. Yeah. So that counts. Okay. It's still funny because my question has to do with the same draft of the same year.
Oh man.
Who was the last televised pick in the first draft in 2002?
Oh God!
I'll give you a hint. They were on. They were not on last week, but they have recently been on TV. They weren't on last week,
so
but they've been on TV.
I'm thinking right then, because I said it's either so it's Lita.
It is.
All right.
I think I fudged up, and that clue might have propelled you there, but it's now 1-1. We're doing good. We both got it right, and we both started with 2002.
And guess what? Another 2002 question. And this is going to be a laugh now. Which legendary tag team got split up in the 2002 draft?
I feel like
maybe not.
I feel like it was two of them. Weren't the Dudleys and the Hardys? Didn't they both?
Dudleys. No, just the Dudleys. It was the Dudleys. I don't think the Hardys did.
Oh, well, I'm glad I said Dudleys first.
Lita got separated from the Hardys.
I thought Matt went to... Didn't Matt go to SmackDown where he was Matt Hardy version 1?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Well,
the Dudleys, which was a horrible decision, by the way.
That was. I actually just saw that was Bruce Pritchard's idea to split up the Dudleys.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
They didn't know until it was announced on that draft episode. So they were completely shocked. The reaction they gave was genuine.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That was horrible.
Really, they made Devon into a deacon. I mean, come on.
No, he was the Reverend. Batista.
Oh,
was
he was the
deacon.
Reverend. Batista was the
Which
deacon,
is
that's
worse.
right. Which is even worse. Oh God, that was
3 months
such a
ago.
bad spot.
3 months ago, Devon's put in the Divas through tables. Next, he's like, "Oh, really testifying?" So
Yeah,
it was
brutal.
terrible.
Brutal.
All right. My next question. In 2016, WWE reset everything and did a draft from scratch. Who was the first overall pick in the 2016 draft?
2016.
I know.
I got two names on the top of my mind. Oh, man, Becky Lynch. No, it's not Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch was, I think, 2018. But
shit.
You're close with Becky Lynch.
Charlotte Flair?
Think of a different way being
Seth
close.
Rollins.
There you go. There you go.
It was between Becky and Seth, too. I was thinking in my head, but I thought it was Becky, but that was 2018. Honestly, 2016, 17, and 18 is all a blur for me. When it comes to the draft, it was all a blur. I didn't even watch the drafts that back in those years because they stunk.
I was a mark. I watched them. I was like, "Yay, draft time!" I'm like, "Who's going where?"
All right, what are we up to? Question 3, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this might be a little hard. Which brand did CM Punk get drafted to in 2018? No, 2008.
Oh, it's 2008. Drafted. 2008. Okay. So 2008, was it? When did Benoit go crazy? 2007.
Yeah.
So Punk was already part of ECW because he fought for the ECW title against John Morrison. So I want to say SmackDown.
No, Raw.
Yeah, 50-50 chance.
Yeah, it was Raw because then I think he went on to cash in the Money in the Bank on Edge that year. I think that was that year, right?
Son of a bitch. Yeah,
yeah, because he won the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania that year.
Yeah,
and I think he cashed in later on in Edge
when Batista laid Edge out.
Yeah.
Wow. Good one. That was a good one. All right.
I pulled that out of nowhere.
Let's see if you get this one. Staying with 2016, which you said you don't remember, so this is great. Who were the general managers of Raw and SmackDown?
Oh, okay. I think I know this. For Raw, it was Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley. And SmackDown, it was Shane and Daniel Bryan. Well,
you're kind of right. One set were the general managers. The other set were the commissioners.
Oh, okay. So Mick Foley was the general manager, right? Or no, was it Stephanie and Shane were the general managers? Okay, I'll go Stephanie and Shane were the general managers.
Yes, they were not. I mean, yes for me, no for you. Because the general managers were Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan.
Damn.
Woo! I had a feeling because I was even confused when I was looking at it. Because they switched how it's usually done. You would think that they would be the commissioners and then Steph and Shane would be the GMs, but
I just remember
I knew that was a tricky one.
I just remember Mick Foley and Stephanie standing there and Stephanie just interrupting Mick Foley all night.
Yeah.
That's what I remember seeing videos of that, and Mick Foley was like, what the hell? But, all right. Well, I have a similar question, but it's a different year.
Uh-oh.
Who were the GMs during the 2004 draft? Think back.
During the draft. So during the draft, it was Paul Heyman, and Eric Bischoff.
Mm-hmm.
But for bonus points, Paul Heyman was drafted to Raw, quit, and then Teddy Long became the GM of SmackDown.
Yeah, there you go.
Holla, holla, player.
Oh my God. And you know what? I forgot why the story's out there, but I forgot why that happened. Why
Paul Heyman.
He went to
probably
OVW, I think.
I think there were differences between him and Stephanie.
Yeah.
You know, with creative. So
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's like, get me out of here.
Mm-hmm. And then they rebuilt ECW, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, if you want to call that rebuilding.
Yeah.
All right. Last 2016 question.
Oh,
because they were just so good. Who was the only wrestler to not get drafted?
Oh, God. He didn't get drafted?
He didn't get drafted.
So what did he do? Get released?
No, he wasn't drafted, and it was really he wasn't drafted, and it was really hard for him because he has kids.
Wow. Heath Slater?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Damn.
I know.
Remember Heath Slater. Now poor Heath Slater. He's with Impact now.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. All right, last one. There's another random one.
Okay.
Which brand did Matt Hardy get drafted to in 2008? Another 2008.
2008.
Mm.
Oh. ECW, and he was the United States champion.
Damn. Wow.
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd for this stuff.
I didn't think you were going to get that one because I completely forgot that he went to ECW, was the ECW. When I saw it I think I looked it up, and I said, Matt Hardy was the ECW champion?
I know. That's when it was a big silver dollar looking thing.
God, it looked horrible.
Okay, last question. In 2011, this wrestler was the first and last pick of the supplemental draft.
Oh, John Cena.
I was like,
that was going to be one of my questions. That was going to be one of mine.
I figured. That's why I saved it for last, so I could be like, all right, I need to think of something else.
Yeah, I hate it. I hated that as a kid. I hated that. I was so mad.
Me too.
Me too.
So when I went back and watched it because I was trying to figure out like the right way to word it. I don't want to be like, this person started on Raw, went to SmackDown, then went back to Raw. I was like, you know what? We have like an hour to film this, so I'm like, let me cut out the fluff. And like, it was funny because when he was the first one drafted, you see like the locker rooms, like Raw was upset and SmackDown was happy, like,
right.
And that's just, I know it was, scripted or whatever part of the show, but I miss John Cena so much right now. And I did not appreciate him back then.
Oh, I hated him back then. Anytime he'd be on screen, I'd just be like, oh man, I can't watch another John Cena match. But he is missed now. And you don't know what you got till it's gone, really.
Exactly.
And he's the perfect case for that because back then I was a John Cena hater back then.
Me too.
Any match he'd be in, I just would hope that the other guy would win. But now
I would be in the arenas going, John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. But now it's like I'm like crying because like I miss him. Like it's
he's missed now.
Absolutely.
One of a kind.
But that's all the time we have for today. Do us a favor. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, Fantasy Sports Corporation. And also, I don't know where it may be, but hit that little bell so you get notifications anytime one of the many, many shows drop a new episode. And while we weren't able to see John Cena, and you weren't able to see us for the first hour because I was a jabroni and I ran late, you can see us next week. We will be back on Wednesdays. We will be back at 5 o'clock. and I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed trivia. We're going to have more themed trivia based off of what's happening in the wrestling world. And Sal, any closing comments or thoughts?
I'll be watching AEW tonight, and something tells me I'm not seeing CM Punk tonight.
He's not. Are you gonna do a little tweeting for AEW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, so there you go. There you go. Follow. Make sure you're following the Rasslin Addicts Twitter. Sal is gonna go ahead and drop some live tweets for AEW tonight. I gotta go drop. Wow. I'm glad I didn't say that the way I wanted to, but now I have to. I was gonna say no. I gotta go drop my sausage into the oven and broil it, but
man, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's dinner time, and the boss is upstairs patiently waiting, just like all of you guys patiently waited for us, and I appreciate that. And we will see you next week. Take care and enjoy, guys.